Here we go, haven't even started the video, and another happy hour crash. Ooh. Holy crapola. Radar garage and test facility. Let's see what we're rolling out for this video. Alright, I'm on the A-list again. A brand new Mercedes-Benz. Can't complain about that. This is the GLA model, a compact SUV. Judging from these exhaust tips sticking out, we must have something special here. So let's take a closer look. After all, they sent it all the way from their headquarters in Georgia just for us. There are three GLA models to choose from. You have the GLA45 with a small four-cylinder engine putting out 221 horsepower. That'll cost you starting around $36,000. And you have the GLA35. And moving up the line, this is the GLA45 AMG. Says so right there. Little 2-liter four-cylinder engine, but don't be fooled. 382 horsepower. Wow, hooked to an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission and all-wheel drive. Claim 0 to 60 time is around the 4-second bracket. Fuel economies are 820 in the city, 27 on the highway, and 23 overall with super premium fuel, of course. And the AMG emblem is on the back, so everybody will know you spent the extra money. And how much money? Well, it's $54,500 to start. $720 for this metallic blue paint. Have some other options. I'll hold the camera still as much as I can so you can see. And there's your total tab. A Mercedes-Benz has plants in Eastern Europe, the United States, and Mexico. Nothing wrong with that, but if I'm spending this much money, I prefer one made in Germany. And this one is. The first thing I want to do when I get a vehicle, especially an SUV that might be going off-road, is to check and see if there's a spare tire. Not very likely, as this is a very small vehicle. I don't think one would fit. Let's see. There we go. Nope. Just a cheesy tire repair kit. Won't do you any good if you get a cut on the sidewall. No problem, that's why I carry my super heavy-duty emergency kit with lots of air pumps and stop leak. And the second thing we do when we get a vehicle is take it out in the dark and see how the headlights perform when the sun goes down. After all, most people drive at night, right? So let's do that right now. It's dark enough. Let's take these lights out and see what they do. Look pretty bright to me. And when you open the door, you get the bat signal that hits the pavement. Okay, Mercedes bat signal. So the satellite Google will know you're driving Mercedes from 10 miles above in orbit. Well, you're getting something for your money. I guess this comes in handy if you drop your keys or wallet on the ground. Or maybe you want everybody in the parking lot to know you drive a Mercedes. Here's what the low beams look like on a wall 100 feet away, or 33 yards. Pretty good. Very bright, good widespread. High beams. Impressive again. And here's what the camera looks like when you put it in reverse. And here we have the low beams on the fence 80 yards away. High beams. Building is 130 yards away. Overall, very nice headlights. No complaints. Display looks pretty good in the dark, too. Everything lights up pretty good. Including the disco lights on the door and the dash. You can change colors if you don't like blue. Black cats. They light up pretty good too. They don't seem to be bothered by my presence. So we just did a 43-mile highway trip, averaging 65 miles per hour, getting 24.5 mpg. And that puts us out here in the spec country road. I figure if we're going to test the headlights in the city, might as well do some testing out here. And here we see what a good job the brights do of lighting up the road. Low beams disappear in the pavement just a wee bit, but nothing serious. It's better to have the high beams on a road like this. A lot of wildlife out here you don't want to hit. I've said it before, mountain lions and skunks. And I'd rather hit the mountain lion. And the rattlesnakes will be out tonight. It's on tight roads like this, you can make good use of the paddle shifters to shift manually. That's why the paddle shifters need to be on the steering wheel, so you can reach them in corners like this, not on the steering column. We'll talk about that a little bit later. In the meantime, it doesn't matter whether you're shifting manually or automatic mode, because this sucker really sticks to the road. And this engine is very, very potent. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this vehicle over a week of driving. I'm very impressed thus far. The price tag on this baby Benz isn't cheap. If you drive it the way it's meant to be, you're definitely going to be getting your money's worth. Yes, sirree. I really like this. Doggone, bar's closed again every time I come here. Oh well. I'm enjoying this Mercedes anyway, so I don't care. This little motor has definitely got some guts. Yeehaw! These Germans sure love fans, don't they? Every BMW, Mercedes, how do I get? You park it and the fan goes crazy, sucking in all this air to cool those turbos. Okay, this concludes our headlight test. We're going back to the big city in the daytime and continue looking at this vehicle. And do some more driving, get some more fuel economy figures, and some off-roading. So don't go away. And here we go with the bat signal again. Well, you can see this a long ways off, can't you? One thing that really impresses me is the solid body structure of this vehicle. Like a lot of the Japanese and Korean luxury cars with their beer can doors, it sound like tin cans when you beat on them. This is very solid. Door closes very solid. Very well made the way it should be, but that's what we're paying for, right? One thing I like about this design, the doors go all the way down to the bottom of the bodywork. That keeps the rocker panels clean when you're driving in mud, rain, and snow. Keeps your pants clean as well. You see all the mud from some off-roading we did yesterday, but this is still relatively clean. Thank you, Mercedes, for getting it right. The second row seats do fold down for more storage space in the rear. It's a little cramped back there, but nothing serious. 2 full-size adults, or maybe 3 kids, or 4 monkeys. Okay, it's crawl in the cabin, and the first thing you need to know about a Mercedes-Benz, you just don't jump in and drive. If you know the controls, it's very easy. If you don't, you're never going to get out of the driveway, so I'll show you why. Alright, for starters, the shifter is on the column, just like the 1950s and 60s. I don't mind, it keeps it out of the way on the console. Although in exchange, they put this dead pad here on the console that does nothing but rest your hand while you're operating the controls. Doesn't make any sense, but that's the way it is. The secret to Mercedes controls is finger touch. like so. You run your finger left and right, and you get these going left and right. And you move up and down to get more little icons popping up, like so, up and down. Same here on the info pad, which is difficult to see on the camera because of all the glare we get on the shiny plastic that car makers are putting on vehicles nowadays. Can't do much about that. And you have the dynamic switch. Slippery for snow and ice, individual, comfort, sport, sport plus. Take your pick. And we have other controls on the steering wheel, doing pretty much the same thing. Shortcuts. Again, pardon the glare, but this is shiny plastic, and this is the best I can do in the outdoors with the sun out. At least the climate controls are very simple to use. All you need to know right here, no scrolling through an info screen, as in previous Mercedes-Benz, thank you. A glove box with plenty of room inside. If you want to shift manually, we have paddle shifters on the steering wheel that can be reached regardless of the steering wheel position, whether going in a straight line or taking corners. Unlike the European Italians who put them on the steering column, where you can only reach them going in a straight line, which is kind of stupid. They belong on the steering wheel. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Not debatable. I do have a serious complaint, and that involves the sun visors. They do fold to the side, but they don't slide back and forth to block out the sun in the early morning and evening, so your face is getting baked like a baked potato. This is inexcusable. How long has Mercedes been making cars? You would think there'd be a slide-out plastic piece. Doesn't have that either. I guess you could tint the windows to solve the problem, but this shouldn't be a problem. That's too bad, because aside from that, I don't have any complaints about the cabin design. It's very well made. Oh well. Before we take this out and do some driving, there's something you really need to know about tire pressures, which is important if you own an AMG. Typically, a motor vehicle, normal driving, will have recommended pressures around 30 to 35 pounds per square inch. On AMGs I've had lately, they want tire pressures running up to 45, 48 pounds, which is insane. Totally destroys the ride. Knocks the fillings out of your teeth, but that's what they recommend. That's what I had to do. On this particular vehicle, we have a little chart that shows you what to use, which is some sort of weird German gibberish. It makes absolutely no sense. The Mercedes dealer determined that 35 pounds in the front and 33 in the rear is what we need, and seems reasonable to me, and that's what we're going to be running. Part 1 of the video, show and tell, is over. Part 2, we're going out and do some driving. And yes, we'll be taking this off-road. That's what SUVs are for. So let's do it. If you put the vehicle in Sport Plus mode, you have a launch control system for 0 to 60 times. Let's give it a try and see how it works. One common complaint I have with most German vehicles, the power steering is quick and responsive in most cases, but has no feel or feedback. But on this particular vehicle, the feel and feedback is pretty good. I suspect that has something to do with the all-wheel drive. If you put it in the Sport Plus modes, it gets even better. So no complaints from me, and I don't think there's going to be any complaints from you. As we've been doing all of our videos, we're going to take some mild speed humps at 20 miles per hour and see how the suspension performs on impact. I do have it in the comfort mode, in case you're wondering. Here comes bump number 1. And a short wheelbase, getting some rear tire hop, but nothing serious. Here comes hump number 2. And the rattling noises you hear is the toolkit I've got in the back, not the car. Here comes the nasty bump, the mean one. Whoa, heard that one. Ooh. Alright. Hey, it's a small car, short wheelbase. What do you expect? In case you're wondering, these are 255/40 ZR 20 tires, obviously on 20-inch wheels. Pretty big for a small vehicle, but you need that to handle all the horsepower, so I'm not complaining. Even if it does stiffen up the ride a wee bit, not enough to worry about. This nimble little hot rod has fantastic cornering ability, as we'll demonstrate in the turning circle in the Sport Plus mode. Oh, this thing has guts. Whoa. We are going to have a ball with this one. What a rocket. This all-wheel drive and big tires sticking like glue. This is a true performance machine. Absolutely. One thing that bugs me about this vehicle, every time I come to a stoplight, the camera system comes on. Why? Then you get moving, it goes off. It's the front camera. I know it's in front of me. I'm looking through the windshield. I don't understand that German engineering here. Not a complaint, I just don't get it. Another red light. It comes on again. There's the rear camera. I might get it, but not the front. Got some nice weather here, so a good day to take a nice ride out in the country and maybe do some off-roading. Get this Benz a little dirty. This is an SUV and not a sports car, but given all the performance goodies, it performs like a sports car if you want to. Because of its size and nimbleness, it reminds me of the turbocharged Mini Coopers that BMW sells. Let's call this the Super Duper Mini Cooper, made by Mercedes. How about that? This thing takes tight corners very well. If you hear clunking noises, that's the spare tire kit in the back, not the vehicle falling apart. Also a lot of loose gravel on the road. That's not the vehicle either. This vehicle's a blast to drive on curvy roads. I'm very impressed. This is why you need paddle shifters on the steering wheel. If you want to shift manually, you want them where you can reach them. Okay, let's take this off-road. Without a spare tire, I'm not going too far. Ooh, bumpy. You don't want to get a flat out there. No cell phone service to save you. And one thing I like about small vehicles like this, the narrow width makes it easy to go on tight, narrow trails like this, where larger SUVs have trouble fitting. This is a very nasty dirt road, lots of ripples that likes to eat suspensions up. Let's see what this does in the sport mode, and later we'll put it in the comfort mode. Doing a great job of absorbing the impacts though. just had this car washed and waxed. Gonna get dirty. There aren't any guardrails on the edge here, so you don't want to go over the edge. That's where I appreciate the all-wheel drive traction on this vehicle. Keeps you planted on the road, even in this gravel. Because you certainly don't want to spin out here. I put the suspension in comfort mode for around 10 seconds. I said forget it. The sport mode does a far better job of absorbing these nasty impacts. Surprisingly. Comfort mode is for the street only, folks. Sport mode is where it's at off-road. I really like this vehicle. It's very versatile. Not much room for hauling stuff, but other than that, I'm very impressed. Whenever I drive by here, I just have to stop for a couple seconds and show this on my videos. You might have seen this before, maybe not. 22 caliber holes, 30 caliber holes. That looks like a 50 caliber hole. At least you got good ventilation going in. Like I'm on the south side of Chicago here. I get some nasty emails making that comment. Ooh, the bullet's still in that one. Time to head back to town, get this vehicle a wash job. I would have liked to have done more desert driving in this vehicle, but that little 13-gallon tank doesn't go very far. You don't want to run out of fuel out here. Might have a long wait getting back. So what's my take on this GLA AMG after a week of driving? Actually, I love this vehicle. I've driven a whole bunch of AMGs lately from Mercedes, and they were nice cars, but very expensive, running 80 to 140 grand. That's because they were bigger and had like 600 horsepower plus. This little vehicle offers the same performance in a smaller package at a smaller price. 60 grand's not cheap, but it's a lot of fun for the buck here. I hate giving this back. Here's some links to other AMGs we drove. Just click and watch.